Hello, everybody. My name is Foshin. Tonight I'm with Matt. It's just going to be the two of us tonight, but we're going to talk about what are we talking about? All right, Mike.
There we go. All right, cool.
Okay, there you go, Matt.
All right. So before I want to say what we're going to talk about, I want to make sure that your phone is on silent. My phone is on silent because we don't want to have what happened last night.
Absolutely, it's on silent.
Perfect. Okay. We're going to talk about white privilege today. Whether or not, it's something news media has funded or tried to fit a narrative of, or if it's actually a actual thing of what goes on and what people believe. You know what I mean?
Right?
Waiting on you.
Well, you're still talking. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, it was a good 5-second pause for that one.
I'm joking. So, I mean, let me ask you this. You're 23 years old, right?
Yes.
So,
yes,
as a 23-year-old young man that just got out of the Marines, what do you hear people talking about with white privilege? When you talk to other people about the subject white privilege?
I will tell you this, and I am going to be 1,000% honest with this. I really haven't brought up white privilege to people just because it's not something, the society as a whole wants to talk about. It's just one of those things to where it's such a touchy subject, especially if you have.
But let me ask you this: do you think the liberals and Democrats have shamed the people into really thinking about it because it's on the news every day and people are sitting there and they're bombarded with it? And then it's just like being on the internet back about 5-6 years ago, and people are yapping at you, and you're going back and forth with some moron. Because I really didn't get into politics until the second midterm almost, like where they're voting in the Congress and the Senate where the Republicans won. It was horrible, though. You know what I mean? And that's when I got into politics. But I watched this stuff, and it's like, holy smokes. I mean, and you could see it starting. You started seeing it climbing from there. You know what I mean? It's
so if you look at it, white privilege really didn't. It wasn't. You really didn't hear about it, or maybe it was just me. I never really heard about it until recently, within the past 4 years. Just because every news agency started pushing it, all the major websites, social media, and everything like that.
Well, why are they doing that though?
Well, that's what I was gonna get to is it's one of those to where everyone's claiming police brutality, to where that's coming up in the news now, and
well, it's easy money because you got the blood-sucking lawyers out there that are going to sit there and go, and then you got the reverends and stuff like that are going out there. Everybody's making money, except for the family. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I think the whole thing is just stupid to me. I mean, I have a lot of friends, and they're all ethnicity. I hate that word, but
they're all of different race,
right? I mean, I don't know. I just got along with everybody. That's what my mom taught me to do, is get along with everybody.
Yeah,
with people, with people that don't even like you, but you can sit there because kindness kills no matter what you do. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the one thing. And they can call you stupid, and you're like, oh, thank you very much. And they're looking at you like, you're a dumbass. And you're like, whatever, because your opinion doesn't really matter to me. I think that's what people got to quit letting other people get in their heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And both sides have done that to each other, because you got the far right and you got the far left, and they're sitting there, they're bombarding you with all this crap, and it's like, Jesus Christ, y'all all stop it, and we won't have to deal with that kind of stuff.
Well, you know what honestly makes me just lose my mind over is I work with all different races of people. Excuse me. And I can sit there and make jokes about people, and they make jokes back. Nobody gets offended. Nobody gets butthurt, and it's just all in good fun. Like, they understand, hey, this is just, it's making the day better just because we're sitting around and can joke. And whether or not those be, ethnic jokes or just regular jokes like you heard on a podcast earlier, something like that. And that's what the world needs more of, is to where people don't get butthurt over just a simple joke that has nothing to do with what you are at all.
Well, it's like the post that I posted with the bowling ball and the pin.
Yeah.
People get so caught up in all that BS, and it's because the media bombards you with all that stuff, and that all these people they gotta quit letting them get inside of your head like that. I mean, it's just like you listen to a lot of the right wingers, and they used to beat their TVs when they see Obama come on the TV. Now you want to beat your TV. The liberals wanted to beat the TV when Trump got on the TV. You know what I mean? It's like, and now people are mad at Biden. They want to crack their TV. It's like, come on, people.
It's
quit
crazy
letting this crap get in your head. You gotta see it for what it really is. It's a game. It is a game.
It's all a chess match. Is how I want to put it. I would look at it as society are the pawns, and the news media are the knights.
Yeah, but you gotta look at this. I mean, like making a report today about the NSA or whatever going to spy for Biden, and look at Facebook group pages and stuff like that. That hurts. That, you know what I mean? And that scares people off.
Well, let me ask you this. Since you currently have, how many Facebook pages? 2?
2.
Okay. Do you have a problem with NSA looking into your Facebook page at all?
Oh, absolutely not.
Because you have nothing to hide. So why would it scare, somebody who's abiding the law, abiding the policies and everything like that? Now, granted, you get Facebook jailed a lot just because of your posts, because you don't follow the guidelines. But it's also not one of the things that, that's going to send you to actual jail in the real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to think about, I mean, if you were around last year and you started posting political stuff and you're getting hit pieces against you from liberals and Democrats because you asked one question. We got that on the Bill Maher page. We got that on the Kelly, or the lady that used to work at Fox, and a couple other places. And I got bombarded with liberals, like on the Bill Maher page. Me and my TJ and myself, we got suspended within 2 days of just joining that group page, all for asking questions. And they use racist and all that stuff, but I laughed my ass off because it's like, and you could start seeing this is what they're going to try to use. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, so at that point, do you feel like everyone's going to try and play the racist card at everything you say just because they can, and that's the society norm nowadays?
Yeah, but I don't care.
No, I know you don't care, but I'm just saying.
I mean, that's the whole
because
point.
It's
but that's the whole point.
Hold on,
People
listen. I will mute your mic right now. Just hear me out. The whole society norm now is to call everybody a racist because of the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the whole white privilege thing, all the minorities, not letting people come over the border or letting people come over the border. It's all a racist. It's a racist society now, to where everybody looks at it as anybody who has a problem with anything is now considered a racist. Do you believe that or no?
I believe that's what they're trying to achieve.
So
they're trying to tribalize us. They're trying to tribalize all of us.
Exactly. They're putting us into cliques.
But my point is, people gotta quit letting noise get in their head, though. I mean, it's all stupid stuff. I mean, we're sitting there on Facebook. We all have political pages, but you get foreign people on there, and they're in certain stupid things on it. You know what I mean? And it's like, Facebook has let foreigners come on there, and they destroyed a lot of different places on, you know what I mean, like good pages that you can actually debate with. And now you don't have those because you got so many morons out there that want to try to trash you right in front of a bunch of people. But you just got to be smarter than that, and you got to let everything come to you. You know what I mean? And see things for what they really are.
So going back to our news episode we had, to where whether or not just listening to the news is sufficient enough, or whether or not just doing the research on your own. We traveling back to that a little bit, to where you need to do your own research and figure out what is actually going on.
And the one thing is, you always go with your gut feeling. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? You go with your gut. You go with your gut. I mean, the heart's going to mislead you every once in a while. I mean, it misled a lot of the Republicans in 2008 with John McCain and Sarah Palin, and then it hit us with Romney and Chris, God, I can't remember his last name, Paul Ryan. Excuse me, Paul Ryan. Forgive me.
Well, what I want to say is bring up back to the bowling ball picture you were talking about today. When I first showed up today, you had asked me, hey, do you find this picture racist? And you're like, no, honestly, like, tell me if you find this picture racist or not. And we had another person here who said that it was racist. And I looked at it, and if you guys hadn't seen the picture, it was a bowling ball walking around a corner with pins with baseball bats. And the way that I looked at it was because the bowling ball strikes down the pins constantly, the pins are getting back at the bowling ball.
Yeah, but most normal people would think that
exactly.
way, though. That's the whole point. But other people that look at it, they're like, ooh, bowling pins have a Klan hat on. And,
So
you know what
would
I mean?
you-
It's
so
like, give me a
would you
friggin'
say-
break. That's the media getting inside people's heads.
Would you say the news media is an infectious disease that is overcoming society's norm?
Well, I asked people that yesterday, and I got a lot of good feedback, but, I mean, would this country be better off without CNN News?
This country
And
would
I
be
got
a
it.
lot. I will tell you this. This country, if we had one news station, just a single sole news station,
They gave it straight by the news
straight by the news,
and let the people decide.
and that's what I believe would allow this country to prosper. You look at Great Britain and England and all them, they got BBC.
Right.
And as an American, I watch BBC because they have no left or right ties. They are an outside country looking in, telling us what's going on. And that's why I trust their news a lot more than I trust our own news.
I believe that.
Because they have no, what would you call it? No catch to them. No. You get something in the end.
Hey, you started this one, so
No,
you got
I'm
to finish
losing
it
my
up.
mind. I'm trying to think about it. No,
Take a sip of beer real quick. and
I
then,
already did. Trust me. They got no.
all right, so you said the F word, but let's go back to real quick and just think. Let's think this whole thing through.
I whispered it. I didn't say it.
Okay. People your age, though. Let's go back to this real quick, and then we'll come
Okay.
back. We'll circle back around because I know we're talking about the news agencies and stuff like that. But all the news agencies, they're getting ad money, and they're putting out the media control narratives, no matter which way. But the companies giving them money are telling them what they can really do and what they can't do. You know what I mean? And that's how some of these news media companies have become billions and billions of dollars worth. You know what I mean? And here's the weird thing. The people that watch a lot of these, they're helping those people get rich because they're sitting there. You know what I mean? It's like that's a whole sad thing. But going back to the white privilege thing, in your circle of friends that you have, I mean, we hang out with you, you do podcasts with me. But, like, in your circles of friends of younger folks, do they even think something like this? Or what's their...
And that's the crazy thing, is because my generation now doesn't watch news. It's one of a lot of my friends,
But did they get it off of Facebook or Twitter and stuff like that?
Yes, and that's the crazy thing because Facebook is leaning towards a certain side, and because we're not politically factual here, I'm not going to say which side. Facebook leans towards a certain side, and my friends will believe like what is going on in the news, but nobody watches the actual news anymore.
But when you talk to them,
especially my age
when you talk to them, how do they act?
We have civilized conversations to where we'll sit down and we mainly talk over the radios and everything like that. So I work with high school kids and I work with 30 to 40-year-olds. And when we're having our conversations, everyone gives a chance to speak their mind, to talk, and have a decent, grown-up conversation over it. No one's getting mad. No one's cutting anybody off, especially over the radio, because it's super easy to do. All you have to do is key the button, and you can't hear anybody. So we actually have decent conversations at work about what's going on, and it's insane to me that everyone gets their news from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything like that. Nobody actually watches the news anymore. I guess that's why they call me the old man at work. It's because I watch the news in the morning. But it's insane to me that we can have a civilized conversation, especially with what's going on, especially with working with high schoolers all the way up to 40-year-olds, because of how society is today and what the news media wants you to believe and how society's norm has changed from what it was 15 to 20 years ago.
I mean, it's just gotten crazy, but I think there's a lot of people that really do want to reach across the aisle, and they want to talk, but they don't want to be branded by the other side. And every side that has a side, because there's two sides to it, let's be honest here, it's all about control. It's about the control of the people. I mean, let's be for real here. This whole white privilege thing it's a meaning to shame white people into believing that there's a lot more racism than there is. And there's a lot of morons out there that are fucking buying into it. And it's like, come on, people, you can't let this crap get to you, because it's all bluster. You cannot let all this crap get to you.
I finally got what I was talking about going back in the end. To slip one past the gatekeeper, that's what it is. That's what the news media is trying to do with, their agendas today.
That's a good call. Thank you. That was a good saying. You'll remember that from the rest of your time, won't you?
Oh, yeah. I finally got it. Oh, man, that was eating me away.
But you know what? A friend of mine told me this, and I keep saying he's a liberal, but he's not. He's not a Democrat. I mean, he's worked in unions and stuff like that, probably busted heads, but he said the Republicans are the ones that have the high-class hotel. They're in the high-class hotel with high-class whores, right? And then the Democrats are the ones standing underneath the street light throwing a rock at it and knock the light off so nobody can see what they're doing. And that holds so true about
I get the saying. I get the saying, but I kind of want to go back to our episode yesterday with whether or not the politicians are for us or for themselves. Don't you think all politicians are in the hotel room with a high-class waitress?
Or hooker?
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, that saying holds true to 50 years ago, but today, everyone's in that hotel room.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think more people should realize what we're doing, putting some of these people in there. And if they get caught with cocaine or marijuana or certain things that you shouldn't be doing in the first place, because we put you there to represent us, it's like, come on,
Yeah, but I mean, it's also one of those things to where you sit there, you have the money and the power, and you think you can get away with things.
But my point is, if you're a good person and you go in there for the right reasons, and there's some pretty good politicians out there, and they retired. You know what I mean?
But do you think that? Okay, let me ask you this: do you feel that they're corrupted?
I think there are a lot of corrupted ones.
No. Do you feel the good ones that go in get corrupted?
There's a couple right now that I've been following, and no, they have not. I haven't seen them corrupted yet, honestly.
Okay, how long have they been in office?
One's for 3 or 4 years, and the other one's, he just got elected.
Okay. So do you feel within the 10-year mark that they're going to be corrupted or more susceptible to,
No, hopefully society's going to rise up and say, we want term limits on the major ballot.
The way it's looking, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Right, because they don't want to sit there and they don't want to lose all their crap at taxpayers' expense. I mean, everything's going up, and taxes are staying the same. They're going up, 2%, 3%, because they can't sit there and out-tax you what you don't have and what you can't. You know what I mean? It's like...
I mean, they can tax you. They're just not going to get anything out of it.
No, except for your own home and all that stuff. Yeah, they'll take that crap in a heartbeat. So you got to, stupid crap like that, it's like... Let me ask you this. With the white privilege thing and everything else, do you think that's a way for the Democrats to shame people in thinking they're racist and don't go and vote and keep them staying home, kind of like what they're saying that the Republicans are doing when they're sitting there and they're like, well, people need to get driver's license so they can have a photo ID. And it goes back to the same thing what I said a long time ago. It's tit for tat.
Well,
all this crap is tit for tat. For each little thing Obama did, Trump did something worse to the Democrats. You know what I mean? It's all tit for tat.
Let me ask you this. What is your definition of a Republican?
Or conservative?
Republican.
Well, I thought they were conservatives too. But
well, yeah, but what is your definition of a Republican?
a limited amount of government. That's what it's based off of, isn't it?
That's what it's based off of. What type of person do you see as a Republican? What does society see as a person that is a Republican?
Well, for right now, with the liberals and Democrats, they're calling them corporates. They're after corporate money. That's who they get
I'm going
their...
even simpler than that.
Okay, listen, I'm here listening.
White Southern male. Right?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
That's what a lot of people look at the Republicans as, is a white Southern male that has money.
And now that's why they're trying to flip it around on us, saying
Exactly.
there's racism. Look at that. Finally.
That's why.
Oh, my God. Hey, you're good, dude. You're learning here.
That's why you look at it, and that's why the left side is pushing towards a white privilege agenda towards the Republican Party.
Because they're trying to shame their voters and they're not voting for it. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, but you couldn't put 2 and 2 together.
It wasn't 2 and 2. It was like 1 and 1. It's my, you know what, buddy. But no, I mean, I don't know. I think with the white privilege thing, I know we kind of ran off course a little bit. With white privilege, it's just made up just like BLM.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got people sitting around going, hey, let's start BLM. And then what does that mean? Black Lives Matter. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's call everybody racist that don't agree with us. And
let me ask you this, and I really wish we had your dad had a microphone right now, because he remembers the Black Panther movement back in the 60s.
Right.
Is that not the same thing as BLM?
Well, they're militants. It's just like with the militia that we have. There's militias everywhere. They're all called militia. Do I care if a bunch of Black Panthers run down the street with AKs? No, or not AKs, but the what are those air rifles or whatever those rifles are? The AR-15.
The air rifle. Wow. Ooh, we're shooting BB guns out here, guys.
AR-15. I'm sorry, the AR-15.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be there to begin with, so I don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It's like I think with the TV, with perception trying to make one person look strong and then the other ones look weak, it's like, give me a friggin' break.
They got to fit their agenda.
But I know, but if you, I guess here's the biggest thing. Everybody needs to quit buying into all this crap, because all it is crap. It's like people. You got to keep the noise out of your head.
What it is, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it is.
Tell me.
Profits for the news agencies, because they can get people to watch and
Cheers
listen
on
and get ratings.
Cheers on that.
Just so, if you can pin society against each other, you're making more money off of it. If society comes together as a whole, you're not making any money, because nobody's going to buy your bullshit that what you're preaching on the news.
No, but, I mean, to me, I think Democrats stooped to a new low with the Antifa and the BLM and all that.
But that's not all Democrats, though, I'll tell you that.
No, you know what? And I actually believe that. I believe
it's everybody. It's again going back to the white privilege thing, to where it's
what, Antifa.
No, I'm just saying in general I feel white privilege is an attack on the Republican Party, to where they want to get everybody away from the Republican Party to vote.
So they're trying to shame them. They're shaming them.
To differentiate the votes, to get Republicans out of power, and then from that point on, they can either move towards socialism or communism.
And they also blackmail a lot of the people that are online doing all that stuff. A lot of these liberals go to these people's companies and everything else. That's not right. That's a low blow. And that's the point, people. You got to quit. You got to start standing up for yourself and letting people know, no, you're not going to do this shit to me. Go F yourself, because it's not right. And all they're doing is playing on feelings, and that's it. And if you notice, that's all they're got is feelings. They don't have facts. They don't have any of the things to back up what they're trying to say, except for their news agencies that are pressing the whole thing to them. people, you got to start saying enough is enough. Matt, with that being said, what is your final thought?
I'm not going to say it for the 5th episode, but what I will say is I feel that, white privilege is an attack on the Republican Party. It's an attack on, people who want to sit here and make the country better, make the country what it was in the 40s and 50s. Because if you look at history, America was America still is a superpower, but America was a force to be reckoned with in the 40s and 50s just because of how well we were doing.
In the war and all that.
The winning the war and, honestly just being an all-around badass as a country. And then we ended up getting soft with everything of what we're doing today. And
You think that started in the 60s during the Vietnam War?
I would say late 60s, early 70s, where people started, I want to say the hippie movement had an effect on it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I would have
I still
to
don't
look
think
more,
we should
more
have been
into
there.
that.
I don't think we should have been there. I think a lot of Vietnam vets think the same thing, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's one of those things where, history changes. It's always changing. It's never going to be the same. And those who do not understand history are doomed to repeat it. And that's where I feel, mark my words, if you want to mark this date on May the 4th, May the 4th be with you for my Star Wars fans. If you look at this date, I say within a minimum of 10 years, the country will be at a civil war.
I really hope not.
I pray we are not in a civil war.
Because I think everybody seems like it's walking on eggshells in the first place. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that sucks. And society shouldn't have to do that because they're letting the politicians and the news media beat them down and beat other, you know what I mean, and give other people their rights.
Society is changing for the worse, honestly. Bo, what are your final thoughts?
Mine is going to be quit letting the noise in your head. I mean...
You mean stop listening to...
Stop listening. Well, I mean, no... Quit listening to it, but also you got to start thinking about all these Facebook posts sometimes that you get. A lot of those are foreigners trying to drive us into fighting with the other people, just like the left does. They got some left lunatics that do the same thing to the people on Facebook. You know what I mean? And
let me ask you this real quick. So would you say people need to read more into it and not just put their feelings out there like our fact versus feeling episode?
Bingo. That's exactly where I was coming to. Quit letting feelings try to drive you into their own facts, because facts are facts no matter what. If people do their research, they're going to find that. And the other thing is, if you're tired of getting suspended, if you're tired of censorship, and you don't want to be fact checked, and all you have to do is have an email address to join, come and join our website. And let's talk about these kind of things, because I think America needs to start talking about these things, because we got to figure out a way not to get into a civil war, because these people are crazy out there. But we got to sit there and we got to outsmart these people. And to outsmart these people, we got to figure out what they really want. I mean, everybody says they want communism, but there's other things, and you figure out a way to try to talk to these people and let them know everything's going to be okay, because all these people are out there. They are so indoctrinated, they think the world's going to end tomorrow, and the world's not going to end. Tomorrow we're all going to wake up. We're going to be all sorry that we had to get up early in the morning, because there's a lot of us that have to go to work and work a full-day job just so you can put food on the table. And you know what? I come home tired. I come home hurting. But the thing is, I'm out there working. I got to work 40 hours a week. I got to pay for my website. I got to pay for my bills. It's like people, that's what our life's all about. And if you're like me and you're tired of seeing everything going on, come to our website and express yourselves the way you want to be expressed. And you can build your own profile. You can do all the little things, and we will make it better and better for everybody. But we're a growing we're a growing website. I'm not trying to compete with Trump. I'm not trying to compete with. I'm my own website. I want people to come there with. You got to step away from that. Come and join us at AmericanCivilDebate.com, www.AmericanCivilDebate.com. This is Foshin and Matt.
And let's talk about it.
Have a great night, everybody.